What's up, EFD? With the 2022 World Cup kicking off in just under a week, let's take a look at 10 wonder kids aged 20 or under who could have a big impact at this year's tournament. 10. Yunus Musah. Despite the surprise omission of Ricardo Pepi from the 26-man squad, USA manager Greg Berhalter is still taking 3 teenagers with him to Qatar. But while right-back Josko has been a regular for Borussia Mönchengladbach since last season, and Gio Reyna also impressing massively in the Bundesliga when he's been fit, it's Valencia midfielder Yunus Musah who is set to have the biggest role to play in Qatar. Born in New York, Musah joined the Arsenal Academy when he was 9, represented England at youth level and was also eligible to play for Ghana, but made his Stars and Stripes debut in 2020 and hasn't looked back. Celebrating his 20th birthday in the second week of this winter's tournament, Musah has already amassed 19 caps and played in all but 4 of the USA's 14 games in qualification. Expected to start alongside Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie, Musah is part of an exciting, dynamic midfield 3 which should cause Iran, Wales and even England some problems. 9. Josko Gvardiol. Whereas the USA are hoping to give a good account of themselves in Qatar, having failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup, Croatia won't be expected to live up to the achievements of Russia, where they made the final against the odds, defeating Argentina, Denmark, England, and the hosts en route to the showpiece against France. This will also likely be the final tournament for veterans Dejan Lovran, Ivan Perisic, and of course captain Luka Modric, who may seem evergreen but will be 40 in 2026. But while manager Zlatko Dalic is still reliant on his most experienced players, he also has a promising crop of youngsters to choose from too, with defender Josko Gvardiol the pick of the bunch. Linked with a big money move to Chelsea in the summer, Gvardiol has impressed massively since moving from Dynamo Zagreb to RB Leipzig in 2021, with his ability to play in the centre and on the left, defend on the front foot and aid the attack with superb ball carrying and passing, marking him out as one of Europe's most accomplished young defenders. Currently rated at €60 million by Transfermarkt, an impressive tournament could see the 20-year-old's value skyrocket. 8. Gavi. After making his senior debut for Barcelona and the Spain national team last year, Gavi quickly became one of the most talked about talents in world football. And just 3 months on from his 18th birthday, the midfielder looks set to start for La Roja at the World Cup, most probably alongside Barca teammates Sergio Busquets and Pedri. Given Spain still has a ridiculous roster of midfield talent, including more experienced heads like Koke, Thiago Alcantara and Rodri, the fact Gavi has featured so prominently in the starting lineup is quite something. And considering just how impressive the teenager has been for both club and country over the last 18 months, he could be one of the breakout stars of the tournament, although matching the impact Pedri had at Euro 2020 would be almost impossible. Nevertheless, with Spain placed in the group of death with Germany, Costa Rica and Japan, Gavi will need to be at his best to retain the trust of Luis Enrique. His mix of incisive passing, excellent ball control and insistent pressing could be key to their progress. 7. Issahaku Fatawu. Another team in a tough group is Ghana, who play Portugal, Uruguay and South Korea in Group H. And having gone out early in this year's Africa Cup of Nations, the pressure is on the Black Stars to give a more respectable account of themselves on the world stage after defeating arch rivals Nigeria to reach the tournament in Qatar. And they are taking an interesting group of players. There are of course the veterans, including captain Andre Ayew, his brother Jordan and Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey. But there are also a number of young players and recent debutants like Mohamed Salah, Tariq Lamptey and Inaki Williams, while Kamaldeen Sulemana and Mohamed Kudus, both graduates of the esteemed Right to Dream Academy, have impressed for their clubs over the last year. But perhaps the most intriguing youngster to be travelling with Otto Addo's side is Issahaku Fatawu, who, despite playing just 22 minutes of league football for Sporting CP this term, has already amassed 13 caps for Ghana at the age of 18, having started for his country at youth level, captaining the under-17s and winning the under-20 AFCON, where he was named player of the tournament. Described by The Guardian last year as arguably the best African prospect of his generation, Fatawu, who can play in midfield and on the wing, was linked with both Liverpool and Leverkusen in 2021 before his move to Portugal this year. A hit with top-level scouts, let's hope casual football fans can see what all the hype is about this month. 6. Jamal Musiala. After making history as the youngest player to ever feature for Germany at a major tournament at just 18, Bayern Munich's Jamal Musiala has really begun to emerge as one of the brightest prospects in Europe over the past couple of seasons. Ever since joining De Rotten in 2020, he has quickly established himself as an important figure in Bavaria. Having played in 77 games across the previous 2 seasons, this campaign he has really taken a step forward, with the youngster having already beaten his best goal return with 11 in just 20 appearances. Having already played under current national team coach Hansi Flick at Bayern, Musiala looks set to be an important fixture for Germany at the World Cup. With the teenager having already been capped 17 times, it wouldn't be a surprise to see him continue his strong form into Qatar. 5. BENNETTE. Going to a third consecutive World Cup finals for the first time in their history, Costa Rica are unlikely to progress from a group containing Spain and Germany, but we can at least hope to see some action from BENNETTE, who at 18 is the country's most exciting prospect. Recently scoring a brace in a friendly against South Korea, the young winger signed for Championship side Sunderland in the summer and is yet to register a start in the English second tier. Having been just limited to 9 sub appearances at the Stadium of Light, BENNETTE is very much an impact player for the Black Cats right now, but has impressed enough at international level to make the plane to Qatar. Fast, direct and skillful, BENNETTE could prove a secret weapon for the Central American nation as they look to cause the big boys problems. And having topped a group containing Italy, Uruguay and England back in 2014, there is historical precedent. 4. Xavi Simons. Since joining PSV this past summer, 19-year-old Xavi Simons is enjoying quite the breakout campaign thus far in his homeland, having become one of the leading stars in Ruud van Nistelrooy's side, who is sitting atop the league. Simons has played an integral role in his side's rise to the summit of the league table, with his 8 goals and 3 assists putting him second in the league for goal contributions, just behind his teammate and national compatriot Cody Gakpo. With his place in Qatar sealed, having been named in Louis van Gaal's squad, he is set to make his first foray into senior international football, and what better way to make your debut than at the World Cup? If the youngster can show his club form on the international stage, Holland could very well have a future superstar on their hands. 3. Jude Bellingham. Having already established himself as one of the biggest players in Europe, it's easy to forget that Jude Bellingham is still only just 19 years old. The Englishman has continued his rise for Borussia Dortmund this season, with 9 goal contributions in his 18 games across all competitions, including an impressive 5 from 5 Champions League matches. The former Birmingham City Academy graduate has already featured for England at a major tournament, playing at last year's European Championship, although he only played for 55 minutes. However, heading into the World Cup, he is expected to become a more prominent figure. Bellingham has started and played the full 90 in 5 of England's last 9 games, hinting that Southgate sees the Dortmund midfielder as a key part of his current setup for the Three Lions and a potential starter in Qatar. With the midfielder already having made history as the youngest player to ever feature for England at a major tournament, it would be no surprise to see Bellingham go on to shine for his country as brightly as he has for his club. 2. Nuno Mendes. With Portugal going through something of a transition squad whilst heading into the World Cup, the Seleção are well stocked when it comes to the next generation, with Paris Saint-Germain's Nuno Mendes being one of the biggest stars of the new breed. The 20-year-old joined the league and outfit last summer on loan, where he impressed enough to be named the Young Player of the Year and make the Team of the Year in France, convincing PSG to make the move permanent for €38 million. He has continued to build on his strong performances in 22-23, being in the top 5 of the PSG squad for dribbles and key passes, as well as tackles per 90. He also scored his very first Champions League goal in the Parisians' victory over Juventus, scoring the winner to make it 2-1. It seems clear that Fernando Santos also sees him as an important figure for the national team, with 11 of Mendes' 16 Portugal caps seeing him feature in the starting lineup. With the Portuguese national being a regular for both club and country, this could be the tournament that sees Mendes establish himself as a mainstay for years to come. 1. Eduardo Camavinga. After seeing both Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante ruled out of the upcoming World Cup, few would expect Didier Deschamps to turn his attention to a younger star over experienced names. However, as seen during his debut season at Real Madrid, 19-year-old Eduardo Camavinga is an exception. The Frenchman joined Los Blancos from Rennes last summer and quickly began to impress in his cameo appearances, so much so that Carlo Ancelotti began trusting him to be the impact sub in huge moments in the Champions League. A capable player on the ball, the 19-year-old's energy and composure has seen him draw plenty of praise from all over the continent. Alongside his compatriot and club teammate Aurelien Tchouameni, it would not be surprising to see CAMAVINGA be called upon to play a regular part for Les Bleus in the middle of the park in Qatar. So those are our 10 Wonder Kids ready to take the World Cup by storm, but have we missed out anyone else? And if we have, let me know down below and what you thought of our list. How are you feeling about the World Cup? Who do you think will win? Get down there and let me know. And if you've enjoyed this video, then click on screen right now for more. And don't forget guys to like and subscribe.